back YouTube. Today we're going to go through how to work out your calorie needs. Okay, so whether you're looking to put yourself in a deficit to lose weight, to lose drop body fat, whether you're looking at just finding your maintenance intake, whether you're looking at putting yourself into a surplus, I'm going to help you work out how to find out how many calories you need to be on. Don't forget, if you do enjoy the video, you find it helpful, please do drop a like and a comment, especially if you've got any questions, and please do subscribe. Now, before we get on to actually working out how many calories you need to be on, there's one rule we need to understand. Now, this rule isn't exact maths, however, it is a decent way of helping you gauge how many calories you need to be on and making adjustments for your calorie needs. Now, that rule states that there's 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat, okay? And therefore, if you're wanting to drop 1 pound of fat, this is how many calories we need to be within a deficit. So, for example, if you're in a 3,500 calorie deficit across the week, that would be divided by 7, that would be a 500 calorie deficit a day. Okay, so this rough rule would suggest that if you're in a 500 calorie deficit a day, you'd be dropping 1 pound of fat, body fat, a week. Again, it's not exact maths, but it's a decent gauge to help us set our calories and make adjustments. We're now going to use this to help us set our calories, and I'm going to walk you through how to do that right now. Okay, so this method's going to take a little bit longer, however, it is typically more accurate, or can be more accurate than if you're using like a standard calorie calculator. Okay, now you're going to need a couple of weeks to do this, and what you're going to do, pretty straightforward, what you're going to do is you're going to take your weight at the start of these 2 weeks. Okay, now just remember, when you're taking your weight, take it in the morning once you've woken up, go to the toilet, and then take your weight. Most accurate time to take it. Now, from there, you are going to need to track your current calorie intake. Okay, so find an app like MyFitnessPal and start tracking your current intake. Now, there's no need to make any current changes to your intake. We're just looking at finding how many calories we are currently taking in. So just eat normally and track it. You're going to do that for 2 weeks. Now, at the end of your 2 weeks, you're going to take your weight again, right? And when you do that, you're also going to work out your average calorie intake across the 2 weeks. So, as an example, when you took your weight at the beginning, you might have been 171 pounds, okay? You then gone the 2 weeks and you've taken your weight again at the end, and your weight has came out at 169 pounds. So, going off this difference, you've dropped 1 pound a week, because you've dropped 2 pounds in total over 2 weeks. Now, you've worked out your average calories, you've worked out your calories for each week, and you've divided by 7, that's going to give you your average. And your average calories have came out at roughly 1,800 calories. Going off this data and this rule, we can come to the conclusion that we are in a 500 calorie deficit a day with this calorie target, because we're dropping 1 pound a week. Now, why does this help us? This helps us because, one, we can easily work out a maintenance intake from here. If we're in a 500 calorie deficit, that means we're obviously under eating by 500 calories a day. So if we were to add 500 calories onto this, that would give us our maintenance. So, going off that, our maintenance would be 2,300 calories, roughly. Again, it's not exact maths, but it can help give you some sort of indicator. Now, obviously, these changes here in calories we're looking at is just through intake. So this is obviously taking into account that your expenditure is remaining consistent in terms of the amount you're doing. Obviously, if your expenditure changes, that changes your energy balance of calories in versus calories out, and that's then going to impact at what rate you're going to lose or gain weight, depending on the calories you're on. So this is assuming that our expenditure is staying consistent. But our maintenance is going to be roughly 2,300 calories. We know that being in a 500 calorie deficit, losing 1 pound a week, would mean that we're being on 1,800 calories. So this helps us then move our goals and our calorie target in relation to the response we're looking for. So, for example, if 1 pound of a loss wasn't fast enough for us, and we wanted to go for 2 pounds of a loss a week, then you could look at dropping your calories again. Now, I wouldn't necessarily suggest dropping calories to 1,300 calories. This is just going, like I said, off food solely. Okay. Obviously, if you're looking at increasing this deficit, you could also increase expenditure to make up for some of these calories. So you could maybe drop it by 250 from food and then 250 from expenditure. So that might actually look more like 1,550 as an example in food. But just to make it clear, to hopefully give you an idea, if we were just dropping it from food, it would be another 500 calorie drop in calories, because roughly 500 calorie deficit is going to lead to 1 pound. So if you want to go 2 pounds, it'd be double, it'd be 1,000. So that would equal 1,300 calories a day. Okay. On the other hand, if we wanted to go into a surplus and looking to maybe gain weight, if we're looking at a surplus, it would be like a extra 500 calorie gain. But again, it's not exact maths, okay? Because obviously, if we're going in a surplus and we're doing everything that we can to try and add muscle mass, then obviously all these calories aren't going to go solely to adding body fat. Some of these calories are going to go to other processes, like, you know, hopefully adding muscle mass. So it's not exact maths, but you know, you could take calories up by 500 to 2,800, and that's going to put you in a decent sized surplus. So hopefully this method has shown you and will help you sort of identify where your calories need to be. If you get anything from this method, which is a big help moving forward in whichever direction you want to take your goal, use it as a way to work out your maintenance intake. Because once you've worked out your maintenance intake, it's then very useful, because you can then, you know, easily adjust your calories if you want to go into a deficit, if you want to go into a surplus, alongside your expenditure. You can easily then take your goal in whichever direction you want, but just knowing where your body weight's going to hold in relation to calories in, calories out is very useful, and you can work around that very well. Any questions on this, do let me know. Do file them in the comments below. I can get back to you. I can do more videos on this if you need any more help. But yeah, take care, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe.